The history of American industry began in 1789, when the British mechanic Samuel Slater secretly brought the knowledge of Britain's textile manufacturing technology to the United States. At the time, this was widely regarded as theft. To understand why, it is important to look at how innovation was protected during the Industrial Revolution. The late 18th century was an era of rapid technological progress, and patent law developed alongside it. New inventions, including manufacturing machinery, were protected by patents. Unlike today, there was almost no separate industry dedicated to designing and selling industrial equipment. Most entrepreneurs built machines solely for their own factories, meaning competitors had no legal right to copy or use the same technology. As a result, the export of machinery was virtually impossible. Britain went even further by banning the emigration of skilled workers who might transfer valuable industrial knowledge to foreign competitors. Despite these restrictions, industrial espionage flourished. Entrepreneurs secretly sent trusted workers into rival factories to study machinery, learn production methods, and memorize manufacturing techniques. They would then return home and attempt to reproduce what they had seen. One early example involved the American entrepreneur Moses Brown, who obtained plans based on Richard Arkwright's spinning machine. However, because his mechanics lacked sufficient expertise, the machine never operated successfully. Everything changed when Samuel Slater entered the picture. Having worked in one of Britain's textile mills, Slater learned that Brown was searching for someone with practical knowledge of modern spinning technology. He offered his services and emigrated to America. Although industrial espionage was common, Slater's case became by far the most successful. Working together, Brown and Slater established a network of textile mills that introduced British manufacturing methods to the United States. Even then, American manufacturers faced another major challenge: a severe labor shortage. Although the steam engine had already transformed British industry, the technology remained protected by patents and was largely unavailable to American entrepreneurs. As a result, factories had to rely on water power and were built along rivers. While these locations provided abundant energy, they were often isolated from large population centers, making it difficult to recruit enough workers. This problem was eventually addressed by Francis Cabot Lowell. Originally a merchant, Lowell spent 2 years in Britain, where he carefully studied the country's advanced textile industry. Inspired by what he had seen, he returned to the United States determined to establish a similar manufacturing system. After returning home, Lowell assembled a team of experienced American mechanics and engineers who had worked in the domestic textile industry for nearly 20 years. Together, they designed new machinery and planned an integrated textile mill. Since the project required far more capital than Lowell could provide himself, he founded the Boston Manufacturing Company as a joint stock corporation, allowing investors to become shareholders. Although the company quickly expanded, labor shortages remained a serious obstacle. To solve this problem, Lowell adapted the British model of industrial communities to American conditions. This approach later became known as the Waltham-Lowell system. Company recruiters traveled throughout rural New England searching for young unmarried women willing to work in textile mills. To attract them, employers offered not only wages but also housing in supervised boarding houses, meals, and relatively safe living conditions. For many young women, factory work represented an opportunity to escape the isolation of rural life, gain financial independence, and experience a level of personal freedom that was often impossible at home. Accustomed to hard work on family farms, many adapted quickly to factory life. Before long, news of these opportunities spread across the countryside, and women began arriving at the mills on their own. After Lowell's death, the company's shareholders expanded this model on an even larger scale. In 1822, they discovered an ideal location for a major industrial complex about 20 miles north of Boston. There, the Pawtucket Falls on the Merrimack River provided a powerful and reliable source of water power. To develop the site, the investors created the Merrimack Manufacturing Company and rapidly purchased the surrounding land. They enlarged canals, rebuilt locks, and constructed new mills. The nearby village, however, was far too small to supply the necessary workforce. Instead of abandoning the project, the investors took an unprecedented step. They built an entirely new industrial city. It was later named Lowell in honor of Francis Cabot Lowell. By 1830, the new city already contained not only factories but also more than 50 houses, churches, shops, boarding houses, and public services such as a fire station. As Lowell continued to grow, Textile companies financed additional schools, libraries, churches, and other civic institutions. By 1840, around 8,000 people worked in Lowell's textile mills, while the city's total population exceeded 20,000, making it one of the largest urban centers in the United States. Lowell was not the only planned industrial city. Boston investors later helped establish and develop other manufacturing centers across Massachusetts, including Chicopee Falls, Lawrence, Taunton, and Holyoke. The importance of the textile industry during this period is difficult to overstate. According to federal statistics from 1832, 31 of the 36 industrial establishments employing more than 250 workers were textile factories. Even on the eve of the Civil War, the average American manufacturing establishment employed only about 10 workers. By contrast, Lowell's largest company, the Merrimack Manufacturing Company, employed approximately 2,500 workers in 1857, while 6 other mills in the city each employed more than 1,000. Textile manufacturing remained the dominant sector of American industry until it was eventually surpassed by the rise of the railroad, steel, and oil industries in the second half of the 19th century.